Hello. Um, this is Christian. Filming. I'm doing Dude on a Couch. I think this is episode 4, I believe. I have 3 of these. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a quality change because I got some things because I just enjoy the tech side, and so I got a light and I changed my adapter for my camera, and so now I can actually do it in 4K. So you'll notice a bit of a change in quality. I'm sure you can see all the pores in my skin and the individual strands of my hair, and I find that cool. Now, I don't think the last one I did was in 2023, so happy New Year and happy holidays to everyone who celebrated, and I hope everyone had a good time. And, with a new year, there's new resolutions for people. I don't know. I found this year I didn't end up making any resolutions. I've had to. I'm just in the mindset of just keep going with what I'm doing. I've set up my priorities the way I want them, and so I just need to keep going at what I'm doing, and that way I'll. Let me see if there's. Oh no, there's no delay. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't. I don't know. Usually, I do set a resolution for the year. And what I found I used to do a ton was set resolutions that I had actually no control over. And so, that was really loud. And so, if you do have a resolution set, it has to be something you have control over. Like, I don't know. My resolutions used to always be like, oh, I'll have a girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. But like, yeah, I don't know. You don't have control over that. I remember one year it was before COVID, and I was really at a low point. I went to City Hall by myself, and I was skating on the ice rink in front of Nathan Phillips Square. And it was New Year's, and I don't know, that's when I thought I was I need to lock this here. That's when I thought I was the loneliest I would be. And I said to myself that the next time I'm next New Year's I'll be back here with someone. But I have no control over that. I don't know why I always thought that would be. I guess I was putting it into the universe. I was manifesting it, but also manifestation means nothing without action, and I wasn't putting it into action. I mean, also now I'm not really putting into action that sense because I've kind of changed my priorities. And it's just a weird world out there. I don't think it's time for me. What I did want to talk about today, again, I'm talking to this as kind of just like a video audio journal for myself. If people watch it, that's great, and if like-minded people find something useful, that's even better, and that's what I would appreciate from this. But I go at it as if I'm just talking to my future self whenever he's looking back and saying, "You're so stupid. Why would you think that?" Because that's inevitably how it usually ends up. Is your future self looks back and you're like, why was I thinking that? And I just want to be able to capture that essence. I also, you notice when you're getting older, you notice changes in yourself, and it's enjoyable to look back at how you used to be. So I may address people or I might just address myself. Because again, I don't expect people to watch this ever, and it is fun to find when people do, I guess, because I don't know, I do enjoy making content, and I enjoy watching it later, because the content I make is purely emotional based. It's always based off a feeling. I always like making a feeling for people through some sort of storytelling, and I just enjoy that. But yeah, I guess the thing I was thinking about recently, the topic I wanted to keep for this was contentment in your own company, I would say. because the start of 20, so my birthday's at the end of the year, and so I just turned 25. I've already been going through it. Wow, 25 is a weird age. I don't know who else here is 25. No, and I'm sure there are. I'm sure if you're watching this, maybe you're also 25. But I've been going through this like mortality thing of, when you're younger. Ever since I was younger, I was always like, I got nothing to lose. I can die tomorrow. It's fine. But I think just as I get older, I think you're building a life. You're like, shit. No, I got stuff to lose. I got people who depend on me, and I can't let them down. And I've been really going through that moment right now, I would say, because I no longer, I don't know, whenever I'm in these like moods, this thought comes into my head, and like I feel immortal, and that throws me off, because obviously we're not. And then I search for a near-death experience and an adventure, and then that's what makes me feel mortal again. It reminds me that death is always around the corner. I know it's definitely not a good thing to think or do. That's just always how I've lived my life, and I always just want to. I'm always searching for that adventure. I'm always searching for that thrill. But I don't know, when you're constantly, like, I live by myself, and I was really thinking about getting a dog. But I just don't agree with raising a dog. And my apartment's not the biggest. It's it's good for one person, but I just don't agree with raising a dog in an apartment, because I think that they deserve to have space to run and play. And I would find it selfish of me to get, because like I don't know, I would enjoy the thought of something being excited to see me when I got home. And then also, but it's also like it's something you have to take care of. I had a dog when I was younger, and I loved it. And then my parents got another dog, and we still have that one, so I get to see it every now and then. But there's a quote by Tom Hardy, which is, being alone is dangerous because you discover that it's so addicting. And I also find myself craving to be alone, and then I then isolate myself. Like the beginning of 2024, we're in 2024. The beginning of 2024, I've spent essentially isolating myself from everyone because I just needed some alone time. I think my whole year had caught up to me. I just always said yes to things, and I don't know. I haven't found a in between for myself yet. I haven't found a common ground where I can, go and do things as well as, have my alone time, because, I would treat work as alone time, but it's not. It's like I do have to socially keep up at work, because I'm surrounded by people, and, I'm still, I guess my social battery had just depleted. I think that's what it was. I really depleted my social battery, and I had essentially hit my limit. I hadn't burned out. I don't think I've burned out. I know when I burn out. I get sick. I typically only get sick about once a year. Last year I didn't get sick, so maybe it'll come. Maybe it'll come soon. It's just gonna hit me hard. That would suck. But I don't know. I used to, when I was younger, especially, I hated being alone. I hated just, I always had to be out doing something. I remember this one moment, I think I was in high school, and because I play a lot of Call of Duty. I still do. I still play Call of Duty now. But I would come home from school, finish my homework, and just play Call of Duty until I had to go to bed, and then just keep doing that. And it got to a point where my dad had come down, because I would play in the basement. My dad would come down and go, hey, like, you're in high school. I think I was in grade 9 or grade 10. I was in grade 10, and he goes, this is when you're supposed to be going out. Like you're sitting here playing video. Is this all you want to do? I said, well, no, but like I don't know. I enjoy this. It's fun for me, and I'm good at it, so I enjoy doing that. He goes, how about like you start hanging out with some friends after school? And that flipped me. So then I overcompensated that. I don't know. I think I do. I go to extremes. I overcompensate on both sides here. And then for years after that, I just always spent time with my friends. And when you're in your, late teens, early 20s, your friends are your world over everything. And they still maintain that, but it comes to a point where you're like, okay, like your friends are your chosen family, which I always agreed with, and you can't choose your family, but your family is your family, and they're always there. And another quote I actually saw recently was a man's life starts after the passing of their dad. Well, I think it was another Tom Hardy quote, which was the passing of your father is the hardest because he was the only man on this planet that wanted you to be better than him. Wow, how did I get here? Yeah, and so I always had to be. I always had to do something, and I'm currently trying to find that balance now. I'm trying to find the balance between having time to focus on myself, having time to work on myself, but also words can only go so far compared to actions. Like if you are taking the time away from people, you need to put in the action of action. Like if you're taking the time to work on yourself, you actually work on yourself. This means read some books, go to the gym, eat well. That's really important. Like for example, my severe depression runs in my family, and it's gone down to my brother and I. And my brother is going through it hard. And I was driving him home one day, and he was saying how it's like hard to get out of bed and stuff like that. He can't go to work. He can't do simple tasks and stuff. I said, and he goes, it's all because I upped my dosage of antidepressants. I said, okay, but what else? He goes, what do you mean? I said, well, what else are you doing besides the antidepressants? He goes, oh, I've just been sleeping because they make you more sleepy. I said, okay, but this sounds like you're excusing that behavior. Like you're not putting more action into it. Like the first action is the recognition, which is phenomenal. It's a really hard step to get to a lot of the time. The second step is doing something about it. And doing that, I don't necessarily. It's not that I don't agree with it. I don't want that for myself because I want to be able to. I understand it's a chemical imbalance, but I want to be able to strengthen myself so much so I'm not reliant on something pharmaceutical. And so yeah, my brother, I said to him, well, how have you been eating? He said, not good. I said, have you been getting some sort of exercise, like even just walking? He goes, no, I've just been staying at home. I said, okay, well, antidepressants it's not a magic pill. It's not, I take this, I'm no longer depressed. There's further actions that need to be taken. For some it's faster than others, but majority you need, your brain runs off of nutrients and you're depleted of that. And that, that's semi why you take vitamins and the antidepressants is to fulfill that imbalance in your brain, but you need to have lifestyle changes too. Like when you're younger, you just eat whatever you want. You don't think about it. And when you get older, you start to go, well, okay, I need to start, thinking about how I eat. I need to watch my health because you get older and your metabolism slows down. I said, how about you start, just getting in walks and start eating better, and you'll find that you feel better after that. When you take care of your body will reward you. So I really do hope that he's doing. I should probably call him and check in. I love him more than anything in this, and I'll always be honest with them. The love I have for my brothers is unworldly, and I will always protect him over my own life. And it really hurts me to see him like how he is now, because I just want the best for him, and it has been affecting me every day actually. And I guess me saying this right now is my recognition of that, because I've been feeling it. I've been at a weird point recently, and I, you know, I'm trying to stay strong for others, and uh, you know, it does get hard. It does get hard sometimes, but life goes on. You can't surrender. You know, time in this plane is constant, so we have to play within those rules. But there's only so much I can do. I try to do a lot for especially him, and I don't know a lot. I don't know. I want him. I just do you ever just meet people and you think to yourself like, wow, you're so pure and innocent. The world can't touch you. That's how I've just seen him my whole life, and that's how he's always been. And we disagree on things, but it's still love, and yeah, that's whoever has siblings. I know you can relate, and future Christian, I know you're still doing as much as you can for him, because that love won't go away for your brother. Sorry. Yeah, I've been I don't know, I guess I've been trying to be alone for these past 2 weeks. Wow, it's been 2 weeks. I didn't even notice that. And things I've been trying to do in this new year that, I always said to myself that 25 is when I'm an adult. When you're in school, you're looking at a teacher, and teachers are like 23 or 25, and you're like, no, you're an adult. And when I found out some people I used to know became teachers, I'm like, what the? You can't be a teacher. Like, you're still a kid. But it's the perception of when you get older, and when you're younger, you get these people always saying, oh, you'll understand when you're older, like blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, shut up, old person. But no, you really feel it, and then you become that person, and it just keeps trickling down. You just never listen as a kid. I do miss being a kid sometimes, but when I was a kid, I always wanted to be older. But then you forget that time doesn't stop. Time doesn't stop when you get older. You keep going, and you have to learn to just enjoy every moment, because every moment that passes, you're the youngest you'll ever be in your life. So, you have to make sure you make the most of it, because we only have a short amount of time, relatively, on this place, and try and make an effect on as many people as you can. A positive one. Make a positive effect. That's important. That's an important piece of information. Make a positive piece of effect on people. I don't know. I've got this. I love doing this thing where I should probably name it. I'll probably name it like igniting or something like that. So I don't know. My father had always seen the light in everyone, and as a teenager, I was so emo. I was like, no, everyone sucks, blah, blah, blah. But then as I get older, like, I'm trying to embrace that more, that there is a light in everyone, and obviously there's bad, but there's a lot of good. And maybe I've talked about this before, but I find that I don't know, I've always seen myself as a stepping stone in other people's chapters. And it's just not that it's chosen, but that's just kind of how things have really held for me. And I used to hate it. I used to hate the fact that, like, I'd help people and then they'd disappear, and it was like I was just forgotten. But now I've learned to embrace it. I've learned to to enjoy it because, you know, it's so funny how different everyone's perception of you is. And the way I like to word it is, as being a stepping stone is, and this is what igniting, in my opinion, is finding that light in someone who can't see it in themselves, and you just give them a little light, little nudge, and then they just roll it, and then you just wave goodbye as they soar. And the fun part is watching the moment after the ignition, after you see that spark light in their eyes. That's the moment that I search for, and that I always attempt to give people. And I try my best, and I've again, since I've come to the conclusion that it will, that's my role in their life. It's easier with the goodbyes. I have had to make a lot of goodbyes. I don't necessarily say goodbye because it's really permanent, but I always say see you soon. But those at that moment, I do say goodbye because it's better. It's better for the situation because once you get to a certain point, you have to change your surroundings, and I know sometimes they don't forget about it, which is nice, but it's okay with me now if they do. And it's okay to just sit back and watch how far they go. I'm trying to do that more. That's something I'm currently trying to do more, and I've been working at it. And the more people I can help ignite, the better their surroundings will be, and the better effect that they'll have on others. Because it's like the ripple effect. One person has an effect on others, and if I can help get them to that point, I don't need any sort of repayment. I don't look for transactions in people. I'd rather it be a pay it forward, if anything, because I don't need anything. I don't want anything really. I just want people to be happy. I know I've said that a ton. I'm just a broken record, but it's very nice knowing and seeing people that you used to know do well. And never take anyone for granted. A lot of people know a lot of things, and you'll never know what you learn from people, which is the best part. And it's also fun just people watching. I always enjoyed going to public places, sitting down, having a coffee or having some gelato. I don't know. Okay, so there's this place in Toronto called Yorkville, and I used to go in the summers. I would get gelato, and I'd just sit on a table and just watch these people go by. Keanu Reeves actually talks about this place too. I don't know. He must have been at a different Yorkville because he talked about all these biker gangs coming through, and I'd never seen them. Maybe that was just before my time. But I used to just drive when I had nothing to do at night. I would drive there, and I would just go and look at the nice cars because there are a lot of nice cars that go there. But I find it very enjoyable to people watch there because I find that it's so many different people. When you'll get some tour, because it's kind of like Toronto's Rodeo Drive. You get some people who are just window shopping. You get some people who are just obscene amount of wealth. And for me, it's enjoyable to see that aspect because that's just a different reality for a lot of people. And there's some people who will never get to see that reality. Some people who live in that reality. And what I like to do is I like to make up their stories in my head. I'll see them walking. I'm not judging them at all, but I'm seeing their walking pattern. I'm seeing, if they're on the phone, if they're listening to music, what they're looking at while they're walking, because you can tell a lot by a person based off of what they're looking at when they're walking. If they're looking at the ground, they're really thinking. If they're looking around, they're appreciating their surroundings and being present. If they're looking straight, they have somewhere to go. Oh, wow. I've never actually put that into words, but I guess that's true. Because that's just kind of what I do when I walk. If I'm looking at the ground and listening to music, I'm deep into thought. like I'm really deep into thought. If I'm looking straight, I have to be somewhere. And if I'm looking around, I'm just trying to be present and enjoy the moment I'm having with the world. I don't know. Maybe if you, this may change when I'm older, or this may be the same for you, but that's typically what I've noticed. Oh, it's fun to make up some people's lives because I don't know. Ever since I was younger, I used to. There's a spot. Actually, I live by it now. Where I live now is where I used to come on my own all the time when I was sad because it has this little. It's right by the lake and it's got this little stone beach. I would go there and skip some stones and really try and sit in my thoughts. And there was this one night where I was looking into the distance. I could see lights of the highway and every car passing by. And I hadn't thought about this before. This was when I was a teenager. I wasn't really thinking about life until then. And I'd realized, I was going through something. And then I kept seeing the lights pass by on the highway, and I thought to myself, "Oh wow, like I don't know, but some of those people might be going through something." And then more cars kept going. I'm like, okay, so I've got my group of friends, I've got my own problems, but so do other people, And it's a very, I find that thought always, people will always have that thought in their head at some point in their life, and some later than others, some earlier than others, but it does change your perspective on a lot of things. Like if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice that there's another condo behind me. And sometimes I'll just be listening to music and I'll look over while I'm sitting on my couch and just, it's like you see all these little squares, some with lights on, some with lights off. And you get to think to yourself like, oh, hey, like I get this whole place, this whole place where I get to see snippets of people's lives, everyone at different points in their lives. And, some people having the best day ever, some people having the worst, some people just continuously trying to keep going. Because to keep going is a lot of effort. It's a lot of work, but it's the bare minimum you can do. So you got to keep pushing. I also want to continue making things. I found that making things has been really beneficial for my mind. Whether that's more videos and more photos. That's why, I don't know, I bought this light. And I bought this, it's called a cam link. And it just brings my videos from 1080p to 4K. And that makes me so excited because it opens up a world of possibilities of more I can do. Like now I've got great lighting for this. I really, really do enjoy doing this. I know I haven't done it in a while. I really enjoy doing this because it's something I get to look back on. And if you go to my YouTube, you will see other things like there's this thing that I made with my friends called Vibes Aha. Because we used to, it was with my film school friends. I'm still friends with them today, and I have so much love for them. But we used to say aha all the time, and we enjoyed the good vibes with each other, and so we made that series Vibes Aha. So there's Vibes Aha, and then Vibes Aha 2, and then Vibes Aha finale. My favorite's the finale. And I get to watch that I end up rewatching it every year. And I get to rewatch it every year for the rest of my life. Because now that is something that I have for the rest of my life. And it's almost like a time capsule. I've captured this piece of time. It means so much to me. And I get to enjoy it later on. So just at that moment. Because I tend to, my memory's not too good. I do forget a lot of things. It's because I'm always thinking. And so my brain's just taken up by things. And I've been trying to work on my memory as I get older because I'm so fearful of losing my stories. I love hearing my stories. Maybe one day I'll just start saying my stories. And then that way I have them. Oh yeah, maybe I should just do that. But I forget my stories until a situation is brought, and this is why, I don't know if anyone here has watched Wizards of Waverly Place, but Max Max's character, he says, yeah, I just put it in the top shelf of my brain. Ever since I saw that, I used to do that with secrets. When people would tell me secrets, I would store it on the top shelf of my brain and genuinely forget about it. Genuinely forget about what was said, where it was said, and then someone will bring it up. I'll go, well, and like it comes back, right? And that's kind of what I've been doing, because your brain holds. I remember I saw the statistic. Your brain holds so much data, but you're also recording so much data. Like you're recording your sight, your feel, your taste, your smell. You're recording all the senses, and that's a lot of data. And so your brain kind of says, okay, this is new. You need to make space, and so it'll store. It's almost like offloading, like when your phone offloads to the cloud or something. It's not necessarily downloaded, but if you want it again, you tap it, it re-downloads it, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, I did do that. So maybe doing on the couch also includes some story times someday, whenever I'm ready to do that, because I don't know if I'm ready for my stories to be public yet. I enjoy the thought of exchanging stories with new people, as I've stated before, and I don't know. It's very, it is personal, but you're here to make stories, so you might as well just share them, all right? Before I started filming this one today, I discovered, because I have this like a wireless lav system, I discovered I could plug it straight into my computer and be wireless. Holy cow, I just had the craziest deja vu. Oh my God, of this exact moment right now. Yeah, when I was younger, I was always like, no, I'm not, like, I don't really have, well, not when I was younger, but like when I first started working, I never really, I saw work friends as work friends, and I hang out with my other friends, but I don't know, it's so funny. So, you have your elementary school and your high school, and that's always usually within proximity of where you grew up. And so you build friends there due to convenience and proximity. And then you go off to school into a subject you hopefully, have a passion for. And then you meet other like-minded people who also have that passion, which is why, like, I from what I've gathered, most people keep their college friends the longest. And then you get to work, and in these graphs it shows the time you spend with your parents, with each friend. It shows your high school friends and your college friends, but the people you work with, you spend the most time with, because most people are working until they're retired, and you spend your time with those work people. So I don't know why I was so closed off on making those friends. And this one guy, I've probably named him before, I'm not going to name him now, but because he likes to be anonymous, but like I see him as a genuinely good friend, and he's about 8 years older than I am, and it's so fun because, like, I always say, like, this is me of the future, like this is how I see myself in the future, and when he looks at me, he sees himself from the past, and it's really important. I think that is so valuable. Like, if you don't have that, I highly suggest finding something like that, because it has helped me through so many different things, and I've been able to ask the questions I need to ask. It's almost like this, but skipping the time, and so I just get to gain the knowledge of future me without the time passing, and it's, and if you are older, say if you're you're older, don't, I think, because again, people love talking about themselves, and okay, if you're younger, find someone you look up to, find someone who's doing well where you want to be, and then just ask them questions about themselves, and then that's good. And then if you're older, if you're that person, and you're willing to share your knowledge like that, it's so valuable to another person. And it also, like, it gives you insight too. Like, if I was in that situation, I would just, again, that I would say that's also paying it forward too. But like, I would love to give my advice to people. I would love to have that relation, because it's so good to have that person, right? So yeah, if you're if you're heading into the workforce of your specific, you know, I don't want to call it demographic or something, but find that person that you could look up to and just ask them about themselves. Ask them about their life, ask them about how it's been for them, and it gives you so much insight on where you're going to head. I think it was, so I'd actually, so I'm a bit of a workaholic. I love to work. Also, another thing that runs in my family is addiction. My dad always told me to be careful of alcohol and drugs and all that. Not because yes, they're bad, but not because of that, but because it's easy for my genes. And I did discover this. I used to be addicted to a hard drug, and it landed me in the psych ward. That was definitely a pivotal moment in my life and helped me get a perception of who I wanted to be and what I was doing at that time. I was so stupid. I was 18. Yeah, I was 18 at that time. But when I was younger, I said, no, I don't want to drink alcohol. I don't want to do drugs. If I inevitably become addicted to something, I want to be addicted to work. I want to be a workaholic. I achieved that. And when I first started working, I was nonstop working again because I was a workaholic. And that year kind of just flew by. I don't have too many memories of that year because I was just working. And then I discovered work-life balance is important because I never wanted a work-life balance. I just wanted to work. I wanted to work as much as I could, as hard as I could. And over the past year, I've discovered my work-life balance. I've discovered I do enjoy work-life balance. And so I'm pushing forward with that thought. And I'm happy I'm doing it. Again, I wish I did it sooner, but I'm happy I'm doing it now because I'm still, in my head, I'm still young. I know 25. If younger me had seen me and I said, I'm still young at 25, I would go, no, you're not. You're an old man. And also, ever since I was younger, I said, by the time I'm 25, I will want either to have a Lamborghini or I want to be dead. Well, sorry, kiddo, we don't have a Lamborghini. Looks like we got to choose the other option. But no, I always wanted to work hard. And it's very important to find this work-life balance. And again, since I have, we're just going to call him my mentor. Since I have my mentor, he's helped giving me these insights on all this stuff and what it's really important for me to also hear what he's done, because typically what he's done is what I would do, and then whenever I tell him stories, it's what he says, it's what he would have done. So it's really funny to have that, I find. I am also very fortunate that I do have him, extremely fortunate, and extremely grateful. And he knows how grateful I tell him every day. I tell him how much I appreciate him. But it's, I was talking to my friend's mom yesterday, and we're talking about, work to live, don't live to work. But, make sure work is something that you love. And it's never too late to change what you do for work, I believe. Because life is such a game that you can, don't be afraid to take those risks. I continuously take risks to try and make sure I'm not feeling stuck, and I feel like I'm not doing enough if I'm not taking the risks. Current risk I'm taking is I'm hosting an art gala. It's completely off brand of myself, but it's a risk. If it were to succeed, it'd be cool to see that path. But I still really enjoy what I do. I'm the most happy when I'm driving to work and when I'm driving home. And also there are moments at work where I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. I do enjoy this. And then when I find I'm not working, I tend to lose my mind. Because it's just so much free time. Work was almost a distraction. I'm trying to get out of this where, work was almost like a distraction from my thoughts. Because I'm so focused on doing what I need to do. I don't have time to think about my own thoughts. And I think because we're a bit of a seasonal thing. I do work every now and then through the winter. But, in the summer I'm working almost every day. So therefore I'm distracted from my thoughts almost every day. And I I need to learn a way to fix that because I can't be going into this mania when I'm not working. Another thing is I was diagnosed with manic bipolar, and I catch myself. Well, I try to catch myself sometimes. So I go crazy. I go actually crazy, and I've stopped myself from crazy things and past tendencies. Um, and again, it's also part of the reason why I do need that isolation time every now and then, is so that I don't continue a crazy train of bad decisions. They're not bad decisions. It's mostly just like, I don't know. I'm also an overthinker. I overthink how people perceive me, and that's another thing I'm trying to work on right now, is the way that I overthink of people perceiving me, because it's a bit narcissistic thinking that everyone always, is judging what you're doing. But that also depends on your circle, right? Like, I've heard stories of people's circles where people are judging everything that they're doing, but I think that's just because they have nothing else to look at. It's easy to judge what someone else is doing if you're not doing anything, but if you're already busy with your own stuff, you don't have time to judge. Like, I genuinely don't have time to judge people. I'm very open. I don't have time to judge people about things because, like, I've got too much to worry on my own plate. Why would I waste my time on judging someone? I think it also says a lot about some people too. Like, if you're sitting there just judging people based on superficial things, like, what are you doing with yourself? You need to really set your priorities, because if judging people is one of your priorities, it's a waste of time. Now, that's just my opinion. I'm sure some people may agree with that. Some people may not. But I just don't think there should be time for you to judge people. Like, you can go and work out, go and be healthy. Whenever I watch some of these like core videos, there's this, they ring back to, I think it's the E3 podcast. I don't know. But this one guy, he says, why do I work out? I don't have time. Like, there's so much more I can do with my time than work out. And I understand that. I get that. Like, when I'm in my work mode, I don't have time to go to, like, genuinely don't. I don't have time. I don't have enough time to get 8 hours of sleep, so I can't get to the gym. But some people I work with, like, they do get to the gym before they go to work, and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. And it does come down to time management, but I think health is wealth, right? You can't enjoy any sort of wealth you gain without being healthy. I think that's something that does need to be prioritized. I've just started getting good on my nutrition. I started doing these. This isn't a paid promotion. I started doing Factor, and it's these meal preps, and I just selected protein only. I've actually been noticing a difference. And when I was younger, they would always say, "Oh yeah, nutrition's a majority of working out," and I was like, "Oh, like whatever." But I'm starting to discover now. I'm not discovering, but like I'm starting to reap the benefits of proper nutrition. And I have been continuing to try and do that, because I used to eat out a lot. I used to just eat bad things because I had and have a great metabolism. But eating properly nutritious meals and specific ones, it does help, and it helps mentally, even though I've been losing my mind. And I've been trying to keep up my nutrition, trying to keep up my health. Oh wait, yeah, I'm supposed to go to the gym today too. Yeah, I'm keeping up my health. You still, like, you fall into things, right? No matter, for me personally, no matter like what I do fall into things, but I process them. Like, if I have a thought in my head, and I'm at the gym, I can almost come to a conclusion about that thought, because I'll have that thought pondering in my head. I'll get upset over it. Then I'll let out my anger at the gym, and then I'm kind of like calmed down from that. And then as I'm driving home, I'm like winding down, and the thought no longer has power over me at that point, because I've let it out. Another way to do that would be journaling. With the new iOS update, there's a journal app, and I've set it to remind me every day to journal. I've done it twice. I need to work on it. I don't feel like sometimes I don't feel like writing down my thoughts. I'm like, no, I need more time to think. I just need time to think about it. Give me that time. I will overthink it until I'm numb, and then it'll be gone. I'm sure it's not healthy. Uh, I'm trying to get out of that. I know, and I'm sure other people have that problem too. Another thing that's pretty comforting is knowing that other people have the same problems as you, which is horrible. And I guess that was also why I did post these, because since I found that comforting, I thought it would be helpful for other people if they were listening or watching to find comfort in that too, which is why I try to say whatever's just on my mind. And for, you to find comfort in my problems. Because I know that you're probably going through the same thing, but, I'm here to tell you that everything ends up being okay. There's a quote from the movie 17 again, which is when you're young, you think that every problem is the end of the world. But as you get older, you realize that it's just the beginning, It is just the beginning. We're too we think that everything is the end of the world. As I get older, I've always been a big picture person, but a lot of problems I used to just brush away. I'm like, okay, bigger picture. There's more things to worry about. Stop wasting time on this. You still have to deal with those problems. Those are things that you do. And I I hated confrontation, and it's still a bit hard for me today. But that it's really important to become comfortable with confrontation, because otherwise you'll just get walked all over. I'm still to this day trying to go past that, and words have so much, but I believe that you're defined by actions, and you just have to really work towards being your best self. Now, I guess coming to the end here, in terms of contentment in your own company, this is what I always tell people is most people who are broken up or going through problems in a relationship, because I find it very important to be your own individual self, your own individual thoughts and opinions. Some people bounce from relationship to relationship, just chasing that high. And the way I see how you should be is, be content, is to be content in your own company, because if you're not content with your own company, why would someone else be, right? And if you're down, but another person's content in their own company, they then feel that responsibility of having to bring two people up instead of just themselves. And as you probably know, it's already hard to bring one person up. Just always try and, work on yourself. Always try and make yourself better. And, definitely find that alone time. I also I just suggest meditating, just clear your brain. It's so easy for it to get loose on a thought and just run with it. Now, I think an assignment I would do for this one is find someone that you can see it, like, just start to look for the light in people, always look for the good in people, and try to initiate the ignition. Like, if they have a problem or if they have something that they want to do, support them all the way. And no, I don't think that's something that you can do every day. I already said the compliment. The assignment would mostly be just like, start the process of working on yourself. Since the beginning of the year, lay out where you want to be by the end of the year. And then it may be a stretch, it may be far, but a dream turns into a goal as soon as you plan out your first step, right? So I would say mostly just really think about where you want to be, who you want to be, and figure out what that first step is. That first step could be, I want to read a book. I want to start reading more, or, very simple. It doesn't have to be super complicated, because we tend to make things complicated. And you know, say if you have this idea for a business but you want to study everything about business, like a big thing about it is when you start reading all these books and you start getting into all that, you start to procrastinate it because you want it to be perfect. You just have to do it. So I guess the assignment is do what you really want to do, and focus on where you want to be in the future. And you just have to go for it. Just go for it, man. Like, because you'll never know unless you just go for it. And this also includes people too. Like, say if there's a person you're like, just go for it, because you never know. I need to make this my assignment too. Just go for it, and it may, things may not work out, but at the end of the day, it's if it doesn't, if it is for a person, it's their loss. But if you've worked on yourself so much to become the best version of you, they'll come back. They'll always come back, even if it's just as a friend. They'll always come back because you're too much to lose to just let go. So I would say, the assignment would be to just figure out where you want to be at the end of the year, and set your first step, and really work on yourself. Maybe like I was going to say something you don't need it, but even if you're the most perfect person ever, no one's perfect. You always have to work on yourself. You always have to be a better you. And yeah, I think it's mostly, this assignment's a year-long thing because it's a marathon, not a sprint. And if you do, I'd really like to know what people's first steps are. And I also if I post this, I guess I'll post this on YouTube. But if you comment and you need help with the first step, you can just comment, where you want to be, and I can hopefully help you find your first step. That'd be fun, actually. Yeah, I would enjoy doing that. And you can look at other people's first steps, and that can give you some inspiration. Actually, yeah, that'd be nice if you were to comment where you want to be, and if you have your first step, comment your first step. Or if you don't have your first step, just comment where you want to be, and hopefully we can figure out your first step, and in that way other people can look at it and become inspired and be like, oh wait, this person has the same place they want to be, and this is their first step. I also want to do this. And then it, without knowing, you're igniting people. And I think that's such a valuable thing for your soul. Is the ones that you don't know about are the best, I think. Well, no, they're not. Like it's just unintentionally inspiring people is such a valuable trait you can have, and a valuable mark you can leave. And this is why, Think It Forward, in my opinion, should be more widespread, because you never know the inspiration that you have. So yeah, comment below where you want to be at the end of the year, your first step. If you don't have it, hopefully we'll work it out. I read every single comment. I respond to every single, because it's not much. So I respond to every single comment. And yeah, we can work something out. And this is where I'm going to end this one. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you. And if you're listening on Spotify, come over to YouTube. It's just, it's under Christian Wood. It's Christian spelled with a K, or just look up Dude on a Couch, and you'll find it. And comment down there. And yeah, if you did stay through for this whole thing, I really appreciate it. Like from the bottom of my heart, I do genuinely appreciate it. And when I see people are also enjoying it truly does inspire me to make more. And it is what I do enjoy doing. And for next summer, if you do stay, I'll make more of these of those, not lifestyle videos, but they're kind of like after movies. And I do enjoy making them a ton. I'm actually flying out, and I'm filming for a charity. And so I may post that as well here, just to get more eyes. I always want to do things for others. But again, thank you so much for staying tuned. And I'm going to continue to do this as much as I can when I have time. And I appreciate every one of your souls and know that you're very special and that everything's going to be okay. And yeah, we'll see you later.